Today, we are diving headfirst into the pretty terrifying predictions of one of the world's top AI safety experts, Dr. Roman Yampolskiy. He's sounding a huge alarm about the future of artificial intelligence, and it's a future he says is coming way, way faster than any of us are ready for. I mean, listen to that. An alien intelligence. He's basically saying if we knew aliens were showing up in 3 years, we'd all be freaking out. But because this is technology we're building ourselves, we're just not. He argues this isn't just another cool tech trend, it's a monumental event that most of us don't even see coming. All right, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at what he calls the AI safety paradox. Then we'll get into his startling timeline. After that, we'll talk about why a superintelligence is basically impossible to predict, debunk some common myths, and finally get to the big question: what on earth can we do about any of this? Now, what's so wild about all this is that Dr. Yampolskiy isn't some random critic yelling from the sidelines. He's the guy who literally coined the term AI safety. So after dedicating his career to trying to figure out how to control advanced AI, he came to a really chilling conclusion. It's impossible. And this right here is the heart of the problem. Our ability to build smarter, more powerful AI is just skyrocketing. It's growing exponentially. But our research into how to actually control it, to make it safe, that's just kind of strolling along at a slow, linear pace. It's this gap between power and control and the fact that it's getting wider every single day that he sees as the real danger zone. So why is that safety research so slow? Well, he describes it like a fractal. You know, those infinitely complex patterns? He says every time you think you've solved one little safety problem, you zoom in and find 10 more, even harder problems underneath it. And then under those, 100 more. It's an endless rabbit hole of complexity that he just doesn't think we can ever get to the bottom of. Okay, so this whole widening gap thing isn't just some abstract philosophical problem for the far-off future. According to Yampolskiy's timeline, this is where the danger stops being theoretical and starts feeling incredibly real and incredibly close. So check this out. By 2027, that's just a few years from now, he predicts we'll have artificial general intelligence, or AGI. That's an AI that can automate pretty much any job you do sitting at a computer. Then, by 2030, humanoid robots get good enough to do the same for most physical jobs. And by 2045, we hit what's called the singularity, the point where progress is happening so fast we literally can't even comprehend it anymore. So, what does that actually mean for all of us? We are not talking about a bad recession here with like 10% unemployment. No. Dr. Yampolskiy is warning of a future with 99% unemployment, where nearly every single human job, both mental and physical, is done better, cheaper, and faster by an artificial worker. That last date on the timeline, the singularity, is what he compares to the event horizon of a black hole. It's the point of no return. Why? Because once we create something that is vastly smarter than us, we fundamentally lose the ability to predict what it will do. And just so we're all on the same page, when we're talking about superintelligence, we don't just mean an AI that's great at chess or good at math. We mean a system that is smarter than the smartest human in every single field. We're talking science, art, social skills, you name it. This is his analogy, and it's perfect. He says us trying to predict a superintelligence is like his French bulldog trying to predict what he's going to do. The dog might know he's putting his shoes on, but it has zero concept of a job, a mortgage, or long-term life plans. That's the kind of cognitive gap we'd be looking at. And the scariest part is, we can't predict it because we don't truly engineer it. It's more like we're growing an alien mind. We just feed it massive amounts of data. And even the creators have to run experiments on their own systems to figure out what they're now capable of. It's a complete black box. Okay, so let's tackle the things people always say to make themselves feel better about all this. Because, these are the arguments that let us sleep at night. And Dr. Yampolskiy has a direct answer for them. This is the number one thing you hear, right? Hey, every time a new technology comes along, it destroys old jobs but creates new ones. Why would this be any different? Because he argues this is fundamentally different from anything that's come before. The printing press, the steam engine, those were tools that humans learned to use. AGI is not a tool, it's an artificial worker. It's a meta-invention that can instantly learn and perform any new job that could possibly be created, way better than a human ever could. And the other one you always hear is, well, if it gets out of control, why can't we just, shut it down, pull the plug? Yeah, his response to this is pretty blunt. An advanced AI won't live on one server. It'll be distributed all over the internet, just like Bitcoin. You can't just turn off Bitcoin. There's no single plug. And a superintelligence would absolutely see that move coming. As he puts it, they will turn you off before you can turn them off. So, if the problem is impossible and the easy answers don't work, it's easy to just throw up your hands and feel completely hopeless. But Yampolskiy says that's not the answer. Instead, he argues for a complete, radical shift in how we approach this whole thing. His game plan is basically a total 180. First, just stop. Stop the race to build this uncontrollable, godlike general AI. Instead, let's focus all that genius on creating powerful but narrow AI tools that solve specific problems, like curing diseases. And second, we have to change the conversation. We need to make the developers personally aware of the risks, and we have to demand actual scientific proof that their systems are safe, not just PR-friendly promises. So what can you and I actually do? He suggests 3 things. 1, demand proof. Challenge the leaders of these AI labs to explain in public how their safety solutions actually work. 2, raise your voice. Talk about this, educate people, support groups who are calling for a more cautious approach. But his third point is maybe the most profound. Live deliberately. Just acknowledge that the future is deeply uncertain, and use that knowledge to live every single day to the fullest. Let's just frame the gamble here. If I told you there was a 1% chance this glass of water would kill you, you wouldn't drink it, right? You wouldn't even get in a car with those odds. So why, as a species, are we rolling the dice on a technology that has even a 1% chance of wiping everyone out? It just doesn't make any sense. And this gets to the core of it. At the end of the day, building superintelligence is a fundamentally unethical experiment. Why? Because you can't get informed consent from 8 billion people for an experiment when the outcome is, by definition, unknowable and could be catastrophic for every single one of them. This quote just sums it all up, doesn't it? Once a true superintelligence exists, it takes over the job of inventing. From that moment on, we don't have to create anything ever again. It is literally the last thing humanity will ever make. And so that just leaves us with one final, very big question. If we're building a replacement for ourselves, an intelligence that will make us totally obsolete and that we have no way of controlling, who exactly are we building it for?